Do people always ask you for your opinion? If they do, it could be because they value you and your opinion and they trust you. Other times, they value your opinion so much that they challenge it and keep it in the back of their mind. And when the topic resurfaces, they spew out your ideas and thoughts as if they reach those thoughts on their own. I'm talking word for word, which is funny because you originally argued against my point. Now all of a sudden you're an expert, and then you call yourself teaching me about my own opinion. So then what was really the purpose of asking me in the first place? Was it to take my knowledge and mask it as your own? And why not just give credit where it's due? Surely you remember that this topic was already previously discussed by us. And you remember that part, but can't quite remember where you got this sudden knowledge about previously discussed. So yeah, people asking for your opinion is twofold, really. I feel like in my experience, it's been because they just want to challenge you and prove you wrong. Because they just hate the fact that maybe you're a well-rounded person, you're very knowledgeable, you look things up a lot, you love to know things. And not everyone is like that. And even when you claim that you don't know everything, because that's impossible for someone to know everything, and even when you're humble and you say, look, I don't know everything, I know what I know and I know what I don't. None of that matters because the fact that you are thorough and you actually know the difference between what you know and don't know, and you acknowledge that, they're still upset. You're great with formulating thoughts, and so it bothers others and it makes them target you. And so their goal is to make you look stupid or prove you wrong to make up for the other times that you knew more than them. And I think it's just because they themselves feel stupid or wrong in your presence. But that's a them problem. You didn't do that. They did that. They thought that. Now, this is not about know-it-alls. Yes, there are people who are know-it-alls who never are wrong about anything, and they don't care to learn anything from anyone. They've stopped learning a long time ago. I'm not talking about these kind of individuals. Okay? We're talking about those who just happen to know information, but acknowledge that they're always willing to learn. So if you are constantly proud of the fact that you are not perfect by any means necessary, you know, you don't proclaim to be perfect, you're very clear on what you do know, but what you don't know doesn't matter. Unfortunately, they will still group you in the group of know-it-alls because it's about how they view you, not what you proclaim. So you could be humble all day, it doesn't matter. It's how they see you. So they think that you are smarter than them, you have a better life than them. And so this causes them to have this vendetta against you. Because again, it's what they think. And this is all because they refuse to do their own shadow work themselves. They don't want to do the work to figure out who they truly are, because then when you know who you truly are, then you know what you truly know versus what you don't. Right? That comes with knowing yourself to that degree. And they don't want to do the work to do that. It's about you knowing what you still have to actively work towards knowing and learning. That's what the whole journey is about. They're not ready to do that. They haven't done it. So they have no idea what they still have to learn in life. Because that's only then will you be able to make tough decisions. And with those tough decisions come lessons and experience for you to have more information and more knowledge, more resources and tools. Then you'll be a knowledgeable, well-rounded individual. There's no special magic or special formula. It just takes you being critical of yourself. You have to have intense accountability to the point that you actually break yourself down into pieces, call yourself out. It takes staring at your flaws and then finding more flaws and then remembering the details of your trauma and the details that you sort of forget. So much so that you become like saddened and disgusted at yourself. And then that leaves you with no choice but to what? Do better and want better for yourself. It's a cycle. It takes silence, it takes solitude, it takes frustration and moments where you are lost until you learn to own the wilderness. You start to balance out those with affirmations and you work in the opposite direction. That's when you ask yourself the tough question. It's indeed a very dangerous path because one wrong turn and you can end up either suicidal or at least severely depressed and self-loathing. So you have to be careful. It's a very fine line. But you have to constantly remind yourself of why you're doing this and check in with yourself. This means that you have to learn how to pick yourself up and motivate yourself. And so my suggestion is to master faith and self-motivation. And you have to master the art of initiation before you attempt to do this. Because that's the best way and time to get out of the darkness. It's the best way to get out of the darkness when it's time. Don't look to rely on friends, social media, and your family to bring you out on time. They have lives too, and they may not be there when you need them. That's the honest truth. And this fact may cause you to spiral if you are ready for that truth. So you have to be careful where you're looking to for motivation during times of darkness. Once you decide to be honest with yourself and do some intense, deep accountability, self-accountability, and healing, and removing trauma bonds. It is not for the faint of heart. So you have to go in there with a plan, prepared, and ready. So I hope you're writing all this down. All right, so moving on to the other reason why people may ask you for your opinion. People may ask you for your opinion because, plain and simple, they just want to use your ideas and steal your vibe and your aura. They want to have what you have and steal your joy, literally. So, other than actually valuing and trusting your opinion, again, the other two reasons why people may ask you your opinion is not at all because they value it or they trust what you have to say, but simply because they want to challenge it so that way they can circle back around and prove you wrong from a previous conversation and even the score, or they could just be trying to steal your ideas. So tread lightly, tread carefully, make sure you can figure out and discern the reasons why people are asking your opinion. How do you discern that? You see what they do with the opinion. No one's saying that they have to actually adhere to your opinion and do it, but what does the aftermath look like? Do they usually come around with this pep in their step and this smile on their face if they're up to something, and then when they ask you your opinion and they're like waiting for it, and as soon as you give it, they're ready to call you out? Or do they ask for your opinion and then you notice afterwards they've written a book about it and taken credit for it, or posted it on their social media, word for word, what you said, as though they said it and they came up with it themselves? Do they use it later down the line, 3 months later or 2 weeks later? And they're using it on you to teach you, but it's your opinion. If you scrolled up in the conversation, you could find the opinion. We talked about it 2 weeks ago. It's there. So, they say all this to say, be careful out there. I've seen it happen numerous times. So, that's the energy that's out there. So be careful with who you share your essence with, who you share your ideas and your creativity with. It's not meant to be shared with everyone, especially those who don't mean well for you and those who don't even like you. So conserve your energy, limit your access, be selective